Hey guys, welcome back to a Jafo Paints video. We're working with Massive Darkness once again. This time we're doing the big guy, the Abyssal Demon. So that's what the image we're going to kind of go off of and try to make it look like. Give you a close-up of this little guy here. Pretty cool looking, I think. So here's my plan. I've already got him primed in our Mechanicus Standard Gray. That's what we always prime them in. Here's my thinking. As you see, all in my store and all the paints right here. So we'll quickly go over what I have in mind, at least my thoughts. We'll probably change as we go. We're going to do all of the red. We're going to base in Mephiston. All of the purple will base in Naggaroth Night. And for that, we're going to do the front of his hands, and it looks like the mane, the hair that's coming off of him will be in that purple. For the bones around the back, we're going to do Rhinox hide as a base. He's got, you can see him right there, he's got like some runes or rings on him. So we're going to start picking those out with Celestial Gray. For the teeth, we'll use Zandri Dust. And I think that gets most of our base colors down. We'll ink the red with nuln oil. And I'll make a decision when I'm inking if I want the hands red, or if I want the hands in the black, or if I want the hands in Druchii Violet, which will be a purple shade. For the teeth and the bone, we'll do it in Agrax Earthshade. Then we'll come back with our groups of highlights, highlighting the teeth with Ushabti Bone, highlighting the hands and hair with some Xerxes Purple, and highlighting the skin with some Wazdaka Red. So I'm going to get my red paint going, and that's what we're going to start with. Excuse me. We're going to get that red paint starting. Once again, our Mephiston Red. Clear off our palette here for us. Get that all up on our palette, and I'll be right back and show you where we're starting. Alright, so we are ready now. We've got our Mephiston Red all on our base, a little bit of thin down. We're going to use, this is the smallest basing brush I could find, was my medium, which still looks pretty small. We are going to paint the majority of him in red. So we're not going to be too careful with what we're doing for the moment. We're just going to go over everything here. I noticed that instead of giving him, I don't know, like the normal looking jungle area, they kind of gave him like a little man face, and we're just going to ignore that for now, and we're going to keep painting through. Cover up most of this guy in Mephiston Red. You want to watch out for, to save yourself some time, it's okay if you go over a little bit onto the hair, but don't go too much into it because we're going to cover that up in purple. You can skip the bones protruding out of his back because those we're going to do in black, but if you get some red on there, that's okay, because the brown, or not black, but this Rhinox hide brown that we're going to use, that'll cover up over the red, no problem. So I'm going to get working on that, and I'm going to show you what that looks like in a minute. Alright, and then with that, it looks like we've got most of our red applied. Again, it's okay if you make a mess on the horns and the hair, because we're going to use some little bit darker colors to darken that up. So my intentions here, as you guys can see, here's my plan that I'm going to show you here, is, I'll grab my little pointer stick, is right here we're going to do in brown. Here, here, and here we'll do in brown, and then here again in brown. We're going to switch over, and I've already got it on my palette, so we're going to switch over to Naggaroth Night, our purple, and we're going to do that, grabbing our small layer brush, so we can be a little more control with our paint. We're going to paint the hair. Oops, don't forget when you're painting on camera to actually paint him on camera. So we're going to paint the hair here, and then I'm going to go back over the hands here. So I'm going to get that done, and I'll show you what that looks like in a second. I'll be right back. Alright, with that, we've added the Naggaroth Night to him. The majority of where we're putting it here is down his mane, and then we're covering up the hands just to give us a purple basing. Bring that in a little bit closer, you can see. And then I kind of, oops, there we go. I can get the camera to focus properly. I kind of just brought it around the fingers and a little bit up into the hands. So that's that. So the next one we're going to do, switch over to the Rhinox hide. Pull this back a little bit here. We're going to do pretty much the remaining gray is what we're going to do. We're going to turn that all Rhinox hide. So once again with our small layer brush, and now you really do need to be careful because you don't want to have to try and put red back over the brown. So I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Alright, with that we've got our base colors on. And as always, if you want to stop now is an okay place to stop. It is not where we stop on this channel though. So the next step, of course, is to nuln oil. And this one, I think I've looked at it, and we're just going to do an all-over nuln oil shade. And that's going to help pick out a lot of those details. You can even see it as I'm slowly painting it here on the on screen for you. We're going to give it an all-over shade and let that dry, and we'll see where we're at from there. So I'm going to do that real quick, and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. Alright, so after 2 complete coverages of nuln oil, looks very, very dark, doesn't he? You can't even really tell the difference almost of the purple and the red. And that's okay. So, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm going to stop talking. Alright, so there we go. We now have 2 layers of nuln oil applied, which made him very, very dark, and that's okay. We're going to brighten him right back up, but we do want that darkness in a lot of the recesses. Around the abs is really big. Around the cod piece that has apparently his face on it. Maybe I'm the only one that sees it. Please let me know in the comments down below if I'm the only one that's apparently obsessed with looking at that and going, there's a weird man face staring back at me. I don't know. So we're going to start with that, and we're going to move back up. We're going to start with our Mephiston red again. We're going to go back over that, and this time we're going to start picking out a lot of the musculature using our small layer brush. We just want to pick out this, leaving all of the shade there. So this is going to take some time, but it'll really make your miniature look awesome. So I'm going to keep working on this, and I'll show you what it looks like shortly. And there we go. Now he's really popping out. As you can see, as I get him a little bit closer, you start defining the muscular structure on him a little bit better and brighten that up. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to bring back our Naggaroth Knight, and we're going to do the same thing on the hair and the hands. We're going to bring that back up, and you just want some of the purple to you just want the purple to cover a little bit. And don't worry if it's really hard to notice, because we are going to go up another level with our purple. So I'm going to do that. I'm also going to pick out a lot of his hair. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. Alright, with that we've got our Naggaroth Knight brightened back up. Don't worry if it's a little hard to tell what you're doing, if it doesn't look that great, because if we're going to keep going, we're going to bring that up yet another color yet. So then we've got the last step to do is we're going to bring up the Rhinox hide. I already got that up on my palette here, all ready to go. And just like before, we're just going to start painting. We want to bring like the edges in. We want to leave some of that shade on there though. So I'm going to be careful doing this. I'll show you what that looks like in a second. Alright, there we go. We now have all of our base colors reapplied. He's brightened up a little bit. I think he looks amazing right now. And if you stop right now, once again, this would make a fantastic addition to your table. But we know that's not where we stop here on Jafo's channel. It's time to go up again. So we're going to add some Xerxes purple. We already got it on our palette. We've got it thinned down. And we're going to go over the musculature again. I'm going to get his fingers brighter so you see them, so it looks like he's actually getting ready to cast a spell. I'm going to show you what that looks like in a second. Alright, we're pushing right along here. We've added our purple highlights. And that just to kind of give him that look that he's getting ready to maybe cast that spell. And I've started adding some color. We're up to our Wazdaka red. And this time we're going back over once again. And I'll begin showing you what I've done. We're just picking out some of the red that we've done. And I think this time what we're going to do is we're going to actually consider a light source this time. So wherever you could think the light is. So we're going to focus more of our brightness on that. So we're going to go onto this side and we'll leave the other side darker so that he's hiding a little bit into the shadow. But then once again you just want to pick out the muscles. This is what happens when you get up really early in the morning to film and you're tired from a 3-mile walk. So I'm going to just keep cracking on that and I'll show you what it looks like in a second. With that, we've got some more Wazdaka red highlighting on there. So what I decided to do is we took a light source coming from this direction. So if you look closely, if you can see it here, this side of his body, arms and back, are a lot brighter than what I did over here. I left that darker red going on there. So then a final thing that I'm going to do, and I think I'm really happy with what I've done on this miniature, is we're just going to pick out the chain there that's on his neck. We're going to do that in a stone. We're going to do that with our Celestia Gray. And we'll take a look at what that looks like in a second. Be right back. And there we go. With that, we've got the Abyssal Demon pretty much done. All we got to do is put our basing on there. And as always, for all of my Massive Darkness figures, we're just going to base that guy in Dawnstone. So we'll give you one quick glance at him before I finish him up. So what I did do is I covered this in Celestia Gray, and then I did put a layer of nuln oil over there to kind of define what I did and make that kind of blend back in there. If you do go over a little bit on where you put your Celestia Gray or your nuln oil, I did re-highlight a couple of the muscles that are showing there. So we've got that, and that's that. I will show you what the Dawnstone finished guy looks like in a minute. And there you go. We have a finished Abyssal Demon. Bring this camera down a little bit and zoom in. Right on his Abyssal Demon butt, apparently. That's where I decided to place the camera. And there you go. That is an Abyssal Demon for Massive Darkness. This has been another Jafo Paints video. Thanks for watching.